Okay, now that we finished the most basic part of setting up processing, we created our first sketch, we changed the background, we drew a square on the screen. Let's take it a little further. Let's learn more about drawing shapes. So let's go over here to our second worksheet. And so here we have this code that gives us examples of all these different things we could draw. And I'll actually put this over here on the side so I can see that. I'll keep processing over here. And let me just adjust this view to hide the tool panel, make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so one thing that you'll notice in here that I have these two forward slashes and then some commands. Here, I'm gonna make a new sketch for this over here, and I'll close this one. And I'll close this one too. Okay. There we go. I'm going to give this a name here. So I'll save this as drawing shapes. Save that. And then the name pops up over here. Okay. So again, we need our void set up with the parentheses, the curly brackets, come inside, give us some space. So in most programming languages, there's something called a comment, which is that you can mark part of your code and basically you're telling the computer to ignore that. It's just a comment for you or for other people to read, but not for the computer. And so in processing, if you want to make one of those comments, you do two forward slashes like this, and you see the text goes kind of gray. And now this is a comment. The computer will ignore this line. And so anything that's on that line is going to be a comment. I can also take some code or write some text, this text, and now if I put my cursor in front of it and I do control forward slash, then that's a shortcut to comment that line, and if I do control forward slash again, it will uncomment it. So sometimes if you have some code that you want to just temporarily turn off, you could use that to what's called comment out your code. Okay, so here we have some comments in the worksheet. So anything that's a comment you don't have to write for the program to work. So if you're copying the code that's on this worksheet here, you don't have to copy those comments. I wrote them there to explain what's going on. So I'm going to now copy this over here without those comments for you to see. So we're going to make a screen that's size 800, 600 with a semicolon. That's setting the size of our screen. So if we run this right now, it's good to get used to running your code often to make sure it's working and you don't have an error, because if you write 20 lines of code and you have to go find an error, it's going to be a lot harder than if you just write one line of code and go and find the error. And as you get more experience, you'll get better at finding the errors, but in the beginning it can be really frustrating. Okay, so we have our screen, which is 800 by 600. Now we're going to give it a background. This time we're going to make it a white background, so that's 255, and we can check that that's working. Run that, and great. Now we have a white background. Okay, now let's take a look at some of the different shapes we can make. So we already saw we can make a square, and we'll make that 200, 350. That's the same place we had a square last time. And we can run that to make sure it's working. Super, there's our square. Now let's add, we can make a circle in processing, 100, 100, and 30. You can make a rectangle, which is, you just write rect for rectangle, and that allows you to have basically like square, but where the sides don't have to be the same length. And so for that, instead of giving it 3 numbers, you have to give it 4 numbers, one for the width of the rectangle, one for the height of the rectangle. So I'm going to say I want to put the rectangle at 400, 200, that's the starting position for the rectangle, and then the size, I'm going to make 30, 100. So it's going to be 30 wide and 100 tall. So if I run that, we can see what that looks like. Here's the rectangle. It's at 400 pixels across, 200 pixels down. It is 30 pixels wide and 100 pixels tall. Great. Now we can also make a point, which is just going to draw a dot. And for that, you just have to give it its X and Y position, where the width should be and the height. So here we'll do this at 50, 50. we can draw a line, and for a line, we just need to give it 2 points, the starting point and the end point, and it will draw a line connecting those 2 points. So we have to give it 4 numbers, the starting x and y position and the ending x and y position. So let's start this at 2020, and we'll end it at 600, 100. And then we'll draw, if you want to draw, instead of a circle, if you want to draw like an oval, that's called an ellipse. And this lets you draw a circle that has different height and width. So we're going to draw that at starting at 600, 400. And for circles and ellipses, the position is the center of the circle or the center of the ellipse. And then we're going to give it a width of 80 and a height of 50. So it's going to be a little bit squat. And let's run that and see all of these shapes that we've made. Great. And there are other shapes you can make. You can make a triangle. For a triangle, you just have to give it the 3 points that you want to, we'll connect those 3 points and draw a triangle. So it's going to be 6 numbers. You can draw part of a circle, which is called an arc. And I'll give you a cheat sheet that has all of this information in case you want to try to do some other things. You can also look it up here in the help section, and it will tell you how to do things. You can look up things in the reference if you want to see how to do it, or if you're able to go online, you can go to Google and just type in what you want to do and processing. So you could say like, how do I draw an arc in processing, and or something like that, or just arc processing, and then you'll get the result you need. Okay, so now right now we just have our black and white drawings, but let's say I want to add some color. So we saw with the background how we can do a grayscale from 0 to 255, 0 being black, and then it gets more and more light gray until 255 is white. But we can also add color, and the way the color works in processing and in a lot of programming languages is something called RGB. It uses red, green, and blue. That's the way our eye see color, that our eye has special cells inside called cones and rods that see, one of them sees just light and dark, the other one sees different colors. And we have certain cells that are sensitive to red, certain ones that are sensitive to green, and others that are sensitive to blue. And the combination of those colors, those 3 colors, is what gives us all these different colors that we see. And that's actually the way computer screens work, because that's where our eyes work. They build computer screens that each pixel is actually, if you zoom in, is actually 3 tiny little colored lights. One of them is red, one is green, and one is blue. And each of those lights can be turned off or on or somewhere in between. You can dim how bright it is. And so we can tell it to make the red full color, full blast, or the green or the blue, and the combination of those will give us all the different colors. So let's check that out over here. Let's add some color. So let's say if we want to okay, you know what? I'm actually going to save this, and I'm going to make a new sketch for the color section because the code is a little different. I'm going to give it a name, so I'm going to go to Save As. I'm going to save this as Color Drawings, and I'm going to just do that same basic void setup. And later we'll explain what this void business is, but for now, that's just what we need for it to work. So I'll give it a size, again, of 800 by 600. And we're going to give it a white background, so background 255. And now, let's use some colors. So fill will decide what is the color that's on the inside of a shape. And if I give it just one number between 0 and 255, just like the background, that will give it, make it gray. So 51 is going to be a gray color. And so I do a rectangle. Now after that, 400, 100 with width of 50 and a height of 200. That's going to give me a gray rectangle. And there we go. I can change the outline also of an object. So if I do stroke weight, that's going to be the thickness of the outline around the image. So if I make it 10, that's going to be a very thick 10 pixel wide outline. And then here, I'm going to give it a red fill. So to do that, remember it goes RGB, red, green, blue. So I can do it full brightness red. That's going to be very bright red with no green and no blue. So that's going to be a bright red fill. Have an extra comma there. Okay, and then let's make this a circle at 100, 450. And let's, oh, I spelled circle wrong. So you see this underlines this in red. Anytime you see something underlined in red, that means that there's an error there. Sometimes the error is coming from the line before. So that's just a good way. So here it's underlined because I misspelled it. And actually down here, it tells you what the error is. The function circle does not exist because I misspelled the word. So that's a way you can figure out what your mistake was. And when I spelled it right, you see it turns that blue color that tells me that that is a function that the computer recognizes. If, for example, I would leave out this semicolon here, then I would get this error and it says missing a semicolon. So those are ways you can try to figure out what mistake you make. It's very common to make mistakes, and you just have to get used to finding them, looking for those red underlines, looking for the error codes, and trying to figure out what it is so you can fix it. Okay, so now let's run our code and see our red circle. There we go. We have a red circle with a very thick 10 pixel outline, while this only has a 1 pixel outline. Okay, now let's make something else. We're going to make a stroke weight 5. We're going to give this one, you can also change the color of that outline of an image, and we do that by writing stroke and then giving it a color. So let's do this 255, 0, 255. So this is going to be full brightness for the red, no green and full brightness of blue. Red and blue mixed together makes purple. This is going to be a bright purple color for the outline of our image. And let's give this a green fill. So that's 0, 255, 0. It's going to be a bright green fill on the inside. And let's make this into a square at 50 pixels by 100 with a width, a size of 25. And so now if we run this, here we go. We got a little square up here with a purple outline around it. And then if we don't want to have any outline, we can do no stroke. And that means we're not going to have the stroke that outline around the image. And this time let's give it a blue fill, 0, 0, 255 is bright blue. And this time let's make an ellipse, which again is an oval. And that's going to be 50, 400, and we'll make it 80 wide, 60 tall. Let's run this over here and see our ellipse. There we go. Here's our blue ellipse without any outline around it because we wrote no stroke. In case you want to find other colors, if you go up here at the top of processing and click tools, they have a color selector, and here you can pick which color you want from this scale here on rainbow. And then once you pick that, you can move this around to make it lighter, darker, until you get the exact color that you want. And then it shows you up here which color you're selecting. And then here it will tell you the numbers, the red, green, and blue values. If you type these 3 numbers in, that will give you the color. They have these 2 other options for color. This is another way of defining color called hue, saturation, and brightness. That's not the default way that processing works. You can change it to work that way if you want. And down here, it has one big code for that color, and that uses what's called hexadecimal, which is, instead of being 3 numbers counting from 0 to 9, like we usually count in base 10, it counts from 0 to 9 and then A, B, C, D, E, F. And that way you have 16 numbers instead of 10 numbers for each place. And basically the first 2 numbers represent the red, second 2 represent the green, and the third 2 represent the blue. You don't really have to understand that. You could just copy this in if I wanted to. I could just copy this color in and make that be the fill instead of the 3 numbers, and that would work. It should work, yeah, the same. So those are the options you have here in this color selector tool that you can use to help you find nice colors that you like. But for now, I would mainly stick to the RGB because it's kind of easy to understand and easy to change. So I'll do this 21, 188, and 173. So I just copied these three numbers into here, and that way it's in this red, green, blue mode for the colors. Okay, so that's all for the basics for drawing shapes and drawing colors. And so now the challenge is for you to make some artwork and submit it to us. You could make a robot, you can make a flower, you can make a house, whatever you like. So we have this example here of making a robot, which I showed you at the beginning. And let me just open that up again. Open recent. Here's the robot drawing. Okay, so I'm going to open this up. And here we go. Here's the robots produced by that code. I did change one thing from the way it's printed on the sheet. I made this bottom circle a little bit bigger than it was originally on there. But other than that, this is the same. And so you could copy this and change it, or the best thing is try making your own creation. We'd love to see what you make. And like we said, if you submit something to us, you'll be entered into a raffle. And then keep watching out for future posts, and we'll learn how to make some more things next time. We'll start learning about how to make animations, and eventually we'll make some games, stuff like that. So we can do some really cool things. But it all starts somewhere, and this is the beginning. Okay. Everybody stay healthy, be well, and have a great day.